Ricky Turcios. Ricky, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Not too bad. It's been a while. Last time we talked, you were on the Ultimate Fighter. How have you been? It's been quite a couple years since then.
Yeah, I've been really, really solid. I'm living the dream, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very grateful. I'm thankful. And I'm glad that this weekend I get to do my favorite thing again. I get to go in there, step into the octagon, and do battle again. God willing, I'm going to leave with the win. Let's go.
Nice.
Talk about, and I'm curious, what is different when it's outside of the country? So I think this is the first time you fought outside. What do you need to bring? What do you need to do to go outside the country? Whether it's really for vacation or even though this is a business trip.
Yeah, for this trip in particular, this being a UFC fight trip, international, this is my first fight, fighting outside the United States. I had to come out here to Mexico City to acclimate a month early, you know what I'm saying? So I made sure I got out here a month early. We're at like 7,000 feet. So for sure I felt the difference from the first day I arrived to now it being a month here in Mexico City. The training went fantastic, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling in great shape. I came here in really good shape. And then after all the training too, I'm used to that oxygen now over here, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to make sure I get here early to acclimate. And then as well, I packed good too, you know what I'm saying? I had a good time, make sure I packed heavy with my bags, brought all my clothes, everything like that, make sure I was well prepared. The food was different while I was out here too, you know what I'm saying? So I was cooking good, and I'm having a good time here in Mexico.
I don't know if you remember, speaking of food, and normally I try not to talk food fight week because it's weight cuts and all that stuff. You probably don't remember, but when you were on the Ultimate Fighter and we talked, we were going to do some food in Houston, and we just haven't connected. So we still have to go do that dinner that we talked about in Houston.
Yes, I do remember which one we talked about. Yeah, whenever we pull up, I already know we're going to go. We're going to hit up either maybe a sushi buffet, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple good ones here in town, you know what I'm saying? So that sushi buffet is fantastic.
Well, and I remember that's what we talked about. And, when I asked that, about what do you need to bring, I recently went to Colombia for a concert. And I know this is going to sound silly and people give me crap on a regular basis. I went at the airport because you can't take it through. I bought 2 6-packs of Diet Coke just to take to Colombia for the 2.5 days that I would be there, because that's different. Coke is different in different, well, I said Colombia, so let's say soda. Soda is different in Colombia, than it is in the States. Or people forget you have to take, your special adapter power cord so that you can charge in certain countries. So I think that's something that people take for granted that you guys can't, that you have to remember all those things.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, you make sure you pack all your things that you need, you know what I'm saying? One of the things that was a little different when I was out here was the washer and dryer that I was using in the Airbnb. It was pretty funny, but nonetheless, man, that dryer, it was taking about 8 hours to dry all of my workout clothes, you know what I'm saying? But hey, we made it work, so it's all good.
Well, Randy, that cola tastes different because most countries have laws that don't allow that type of brewing, right?
No,
so you're bringing your sugar with you.
Give me your thoughts on Raul, on your opponent.
Yeah, I believe that Raul, he's a strong opponent, you know what I'm saying? Here in the UFC, the best have to fight the best, you know what I'm saying? So I prepared myself thoroughly. I prepared myself very, very, very hard in my training, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going into this fight. I'm very well prepared. I'm ready to go to the deep, dark waters. We're going to go to war, you know what I'm saying? But you already know, though, if my opponent gives me that opening, I'm looking for that knockout or submission, you know what I'm saying? But if he's tough, then bring it. We'll go to war for 3 rounds.
For sure. Does it matter, when your management gets the call? Hey, this is who we have for Ricky. Does it matter who it is, whether, and in this case, Raul has a lot of hype behind him, has a lot of, fans behind him as well as against him because he has all this support. Do you look at any of that stuff, or is he just another opponent that you need to do your business and take him out?
No matter what, yeah, my objective is always to step into the octagon and leave it all inside the octagon. Put my whole heart in there to get the victory, you know what I'm saying? As far as this matchup goes, you know what I'm saying? The UFC, they called the right person for the job. They gave me the biggest opportunity. That's how the UFC does it. They're putting on big fights, and they made it with Raul Rosas Jr. He's the young warrior, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Versus myself, the Ultimate Fighter champion, you know what I'm saying? And it's about to be a banger fight.
What goes through your mind as you're walking to the cage? I mean, do you try to clear your mind? Are you thinking, what you're about to do? And is it the same every fight?
As I'm going into the fight, I'm just focusing on, for sure, calming my emotions, controlling that fire inside my belly, you know what I'm saying? And remembering my training, telling myself, I am ready for this. I've prepared myself for this, and I'm ready for this. And basically, too, just keeping it simple and sticking to what I have to do in strong defense and aggression. Just hit that offense, and protect myself at all times. Leave it all inside the octagon.
What's the craziest, funniest, strangest thing that's ever happened, in a cage or in a boxing ring or any fight that you've been in? Is something stick out that was just insane that happened?
I mean, insane. I don't know. I'll say a funny memory, I guess. In my last fight, I had a flashback. I was in a position that I was like in a cradle position, and I had a flashback all the way to high school in the middle of my UFC fight. You know what I mean? I had him in that cradle, and I thought to myself, oh, wow, this is just like in high school right here when I was wrestling when I was a kid. And I had this flashback in the middle of my fight.
Jeez.
And I'm here fighting in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? I had a flashback moment in the middle of my fight.
That's very cool. You mentioned, obviously, that you won the Ultimate Fighter. That's when we had you on a couple times that season. What can you take? Do you still take something that you might have learned in that experience of being on the Ultimate Fighter and still use it to this day?
Yes, the Ultimate Fighter tournament has helped me immensely forever in my career. It's such a unique experience being locked up in that tournament. That's the only tournament that's really going to isolate you, take you out of public, and just lock you in this house for 6 weeks, training and fighting, and you're living with the people that you're going to fight against, you know what I'm saying? So the Ultimate Fighter tournament definitely made me a tougher individual. It made me a better martial artist, you know what I'm saying? And like literally a lot of the ways we were training in there, I still try to emulate all those things that I learned on the Ultimate Fighter tournament. I still emulate them still to this day. And then even like some other things I'll say too is like, I was isolated in that tournament. So like now whenever I'm going away to like Mexico City away from my family, I'll tell myself still it will never be as hard as that tournament, because in that tournament I'm isolated away from my whole family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at least this time, even though I'm away in the training camp, I at least got a cell phone. I could still talk to my people. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So that's just cool.
Very much. And, I did something similar when I was in the middle of the ocean in the United States Navy for 6 months. The only difference is we didn't get to fight. So at least you guys got to fight to take care of some of that aggression. We couldn't do it in the middle of the ocean.
No, I hear you, baby. No, that's a good time. You know what I'm saying? But
Good.
yeah, the experience. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Ricky, thank you very much for your time. I know we have your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, as well as some product from Bucked Up Energy Drink. It'll be there sent out probably today or tomorrow. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the week. The reward comes on Saturday. And have a good time when you get back in the octagon.
I really appreciate it. Thank y'all. Have a good one.
You as well. Ricky Turcios, been on the show before, back when he was on The Ultimate Fighter. Went on to win. Not that we had anything to do with it, but we'll take some credit.
Karma.
Karma is a beautiful thing. All right, let's go ahead a quick break. Coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. This is Knockout Radio. We'll be right back.